Let's talk about California real estate. The data is in for the month of June, and unfortunately, we are seeing a lot more bad news. Closed sales and pending sales are looking horrible, which we'll talk about more as the video goes on. But what I want to do today is actually show you a home that is symbolic for exactly what is going on in the California real estate market right now. Now, this home is in a neighborhood of Torrance that was traditionally nearly impossible for a buyer to be able to get an offer accepted on. Homes in this neighborhood usually lasted on the market less than a week. They had 10, 20 offers, and the best offers were extreme in the sense that they were usually cash offers that were non-contingent, no appraisal contingency, no inspections for $100,000, $150,000 over asking. So it made it nearly impossible for most buyers to even have a shot of getting an offer accepted. You know, if they wanted to have normal contingencies and inspections and they needed an appraisal and they didn't have enough money down to cover any deficit of where the home appraised versus what they offered for the home and so on. Well, fast forward to 2025 and I'll show you this home. And this home sold last in 2022 for $1,269,000. Well, 3 years later in 2025, nobody wants to buy this home and the owner can't even get what they paid for it all the way back in 2022. In fact, they listed the home originally in early 2025 for $1,350,000. So not really all that much more than they paid for it in 2022. And nobody ended up buying the home. It sat on the market for 5 months or so. And then they just relisted it again down to $1,299,000. And we'll see what ends up happening. But obviously the seller does not want to lower the price below what they paid for it back in 2022. And that is understandable, but the market is saying that the price is still too high. And it's starting to seem like realistically, if this seller wants to get this home sold, they're going to have to lower the price lower than what they paid for it back in 2022. So let's go ahead and check this property out. And just so you know, this home is in a pocket of Torrance that is adjacent to Redondo Beach, so a much more expensive area. And it is generally considered to be one of the nicest pockets in all of Torrance. It's a very nice single family neighborhood and people just really like this neighborhood and want to live here since they're so close to the ocean and so close to Redondo Beach. And like I shared earlier, homes in this neighborhood traditionally were on the market for a few days, a week, 10 days, and they were gone. And now there's all kinds of signs in this neighborhood. There's all kinds of homes that have been listed in this neighborhood and aren't actually selling, which is pretty amazing to see. And the home that we're going to take a look at right now actually is in gorgeous remodeled condition. So it's not like it's a slouch or it needs a bunch of work or anything like that. I mean, it's a beautiful home and it's priced very reasonably from the standpoint of where it would have been a couple years ago and it would have sold like hotcakes. So as you can see, I mean, this home is in beautiful condition. It's totally remodeled and renovated on the inside. And it's been sitting on the market for 6 months. It hasn't sold. Multiple price reductions and nobody's actually buying it, which again is very abnormal for this neighborhood in this pocket of Torrance. So now let me explain why I think that house is so symbolic for the real estate market and what's really happening in California. I'll share with you guys first what's going on in Santa Clara County and then San Diego County, and then we'll jump into Los Angeles County, which is obviously where I'm located. And real quick, here's another house actually that I just saw that's also in beautiful condition with a sign up. I don't know the data on this one or the details, but there's a whole bunch of signs in this neighborhood right now. So clearly there's a lot of houses for sale and there's not a lot of buyers buying them. So starting out, Santa Clara County, we have sales prices up, which is amazing to see, 4.5%. The supply of inventory has had a massive increase of 27.8% year over year. Closed sales are down 5.2% and pending sales are down a whopping 18.4%. So amazingly, prices remain high of the houses that are selling. However, there's not a lot of activity and not a lot of the homes that are getting listed are actually getting sold. Next, let's talk about San Diego. So median prices in San Diego are actually down 3.4%. The supply of inventory is up 9.7% to 3.4 months. Closed sales are down 7% and pending sales are down 8.5%, which is nowhere near as bad as LA County, which we'll talk about in a moment. If I can help you guys with any real estate needs anywhere here in SoCal, reach out to me. My contact information is down below. Now let's talk about Los Angeles County, and then I'll give you an overall summary of all the data and what I think. So in LA County, median prices are up amazingly 3.3%. But here's where things get a little scary. The supply of inventory is up 27% year over year to 4.7 months supply. Closed sales are down 3.7% year over year. And this is unbelievable, but pending home sales are down 43.5% year over year. So what this is telling us is that very soon, the closed sales are going to look horrific because the pending sales in the month of June crashed to an extreme low. And this is so bad that this takes us all the way back to the great financial crisis. Now, I don't have data that shows me what the pending sales look like back then, but there's certainly nothing else on the entire graph going all the way back that's anywhere close to this low of pending home sales. So LA County is looking really, really bad. And across the board for California as a whole, it is amazing to see that home prices are managing to hold up. But the reality is that only some homes are actually selling. And it's those ones that are selling, which are most likely going to be the nicest ones, the cream of the crop, that are fetching prices that are still about the same as they were a year ago, in some cases slightly higher, slightly lower. However, all of the other data and all of the other numbers look horrible and are indicating that the market is essentially deadlocked. We have a lot of supply, nobody wants to lower the prices, and we don't have any buyers willing to buy any of those homes at the high prices. Let me know in the comments down below what you're seeing in your local market. I appreciate you guys watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care.